right, everybody, welcome back to Stinker, Drinker, Thinker. We are three guys. We pour some pours, we make some cocktails, and we rank them in this ridiculously well-known, world-renowned ranking system that we've developed that actually has made it all the way to Netflix. We're joined here by Raj Shulka, who just got off the show Drink Masters on there, and he was telling us in between episodes that actually in the coming seasons, I'm sorry I'm violating your NDA, but in the coming seasons of Drink Masters, they're going to be using our ranking system to eliminate competitors. We've made it, boys. I am your host, Anthony Longano. I'm joined by Troy the Body Viglotti. Troy, say hello to everyone.
How are you?
How are you? And then there's also my beautiful, handsome man who's always got really rock-hard nipples, Matt McKibble. Matt, say hello.
Can attest. Hello.
And once again, Raj, thank you very much for joining us, man.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. If you didn't check out last episode, it came on Thanksgiving. It came out on Thanksgiving, which I hope you and your families all enjoyed together with your mother-in-laws.
With your mother.
With your mother.
Your mother.
I tell your mother hello. Came on Thanksgiving.
How's your mother? Say hello.
Yeah, we kind of deep dived into Raj's history in the industry, some time that he had on the show, and Raj is one of the best bartenders in this city. I think, honestly, and I said this last time, I think the reason why the cocktail scene has kind of been elevated here over the past half decade at the very least. I think you have a very big helping hand in that. So it's a pleasure to have you on here. He made us a specialty drink called All the Fixings, which was
That's the G.
All the Fixins.
All the Fixins.
He is from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, so it's Fixins.
And we're Hoosiers here now.
Hoosiers.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
you know.
You got them fixins?
It's funny when I talk to people on the phone from New Jersey, they're like, "You've lost your accent." I was like, "Piss me off. Find out." Like, you know.
Oh, you haven't.
No, I haven't. And it's weird. If I drive home to Jersey, the second I hit the border, fingers are out the window. I'm cursing people off.
Horns fucking honking.
Oh, hey, is everywhere. It's terrible.
Is that called Turnpike Rage?
No, it's just called.
It's not road rage, it's turnpike rage.
We don't have roads. We have turnpikes in New Jersey.
Yep.
There's plenty of roads there.
They all lead to turnpikes.
But no beaches.
No beaches.
Only shores.
Oh, boy. Anyway.
All the fixes. It was a Stouffer's stuffing infused ginger liqueur, a duck fat washed wild turkey 101, a cranberry cordial. Yeah. Yep. And it was smoked with leaves right out of Raj's driveway.
Damn right.
Yeah. Oak leaves.
Yeah.
And it was fucking delicious. It was a drinker. We slammed it.
Drinker thinker.
For Matt. But
For us and Troy.
Matt has to think about a lot of things, so
things I could say.
it was a good time. If you guys have watched in the past, Troy and I like to refer to ourselves as the cocktail doctors. And if you're if you're an at-home bartender or trying to elevate your game at home, I mean, me and Troy like to think that we do that. I mean, Troy is actually a manager of a bar. I just like to drink liquor and make it taste good.
Yeah, but I've been claiming to be able to do that even before I started that job.
Yeah, so I mean, that's true. I was trying. You know what's funny? He gets mad at me when I don't give him credit. When I do give him credit, he crucifies himself. It just doesn't make any sense. And you guys have submitted cocktails through our website, and we've critiqued them and tried to make them better for you. We're going to do a little bit of a reverse cockmosis tonight.
Nope.
Where we're cocktail doctors. This is the cocktail doctorate. Raj was, I think, quite recently ranked the 5th bartender in America, the nationally ranked the 5th best bartender in America. Is that true?
That is pretty much accurate. Yeah, I was one of the top 5 in the nation in the year of our Lord 2021.
Wow.
Oh wow! And what competition was that?
So that was the world class competition sponsored by USBG, the United States Bartenders Guild, and Diageo. So it's a global competition, happens across the entire across the entire globe, and I was one of the 5 national finalists in the U.S. to hopefully have a spot in representing the United States in the global competition for that year.
Wow.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
How many contestants in the U.S.? About?
There are 1,000+ entrants, and then it is then narrowed down to the top 100 out of thousands across the United States. And then in that year, it was broken down into 5 regions of the United States for, I want to say, the top 10 in each region, so top 50 from 100. and then it is then narrowed down to I think 10, and then top 5.
How do they narrow that down? Is it like you make a drink for somebody, or is it like
It's challenge based.
Okay.
So great rubric. That competition is probably one of the more known and I want to say ran, I guess, as far as like rubric goes and judging criteria and judges that are brought on to judge that competition. It's very in depth, very thorough, and you get really great feedback, and there's a lot of great education too. I mean, it's a great program for new veteran bartenders, whoever you are, and whatever skill level you have. It's a great thing to do. You learn a lot, learn about competing, and some great spirits, from the Diageo portfolio. Ron Zacapa 23, Kettle One, Tanqueray, all those great things. So, great time. But yeah, I was.
What was the drink that they got you placed at that 5th ranking?
So like I said, it was challenge based. Once you get to like certain levels of the competition, it gets narrowed down, and you got to make it a cocktail menu or make a few different drinks, kind of things, and it's got to be very on brand. It's got to be, it's got to be good, right? So the cool thing about that competition is it's like one drink can change your life. That's what the whole slogan is, right? Because to get into the competition, you have to make one drink, and then it is blind judged by a panel of judges. And it's all on paper for the most part, right? There's some essay involved, some learning and essay involved with it as well. But yeah, one drink can get you into the competition to be eventually, one of the top 10, top 5 in the nation. So the drink I did to get into the competition, I think in that year might have been a flip style cocktail. So whole egg, Talisker 10 Scotch, Ron Zacapa 23 rum. Cacao, absinthe, a couple other things in there too, I think.
Yeah, baby.
Fuck my ass, dude.
Yeah.
Like a boozy.
Keep talking.
Like a boozy milkshake almost, like a rum, smoky milkshake. Might have been it, but I mean, it changes year to year, right? There's different prompts to get in every year. There's a different challenge, and kind of correlates with their education program they have through their Diageo Academy, which is free to everybody. So if you ever want to get some good education, check it out. It's really cool.
That is really cool. It's free.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that. Cocktail Doctor.
It's free 99.
Okay, cocktail.
Free 99.
Well, yeah, I guess that means who's gonna go first? Have you decided?
I'll go first.
I actually was gonna say I would like to go first.
Oh,
okay.
I think your drink is just going to be arguably better and more elaborate. Definitely more elaborate. Like, I know the effort that you've put into this one. Like the painstaking.
It took me 4 hours to
blood,
strain.
sweat,
What if you did it? What if you did? What if you did? What if you
and
did?
mine is just not quite like.
What if you did the same time presented them?
No,
together?
we're not
No,
doing that. This
no,
isn't
no,
Drink
no,
Masters.
no.
No.
I'm just saying.
That might also violate Raj's
So
NDA.
will there be like a judging criteria you want me to go off of?
No,
or
which
it
is
just
better?
like a
honestly,
stinker, drinker, thinker, or
yeah,
this is
we
garbage?
want your
Get this
ranking.
out of here.
No, we want your ranking. A drinker is garbage. A stinker is garbage. Get the fuck out of here. But like, we want your feedback.
Yeah.
We want you to be honest. We want you to be blunt. We want you to be mean, or we want you to be happy.
They do have a cocktail competition. Oh, it would have happened at some point, but we have a cocktail competition coming up for Thanksgiving. We talked about.
Understood. Yeah.
So I think part of this is maybe some of theirs. So
Well, yeah. I mean, the cocktail I'm making on Thanksgiving. I guess I'll talk about it when I present my cocktail later. This is going to be an ingredient in that cocktail, which I actually want to pick your brain about a little bit. But Troy, what are you making tonight, man?
Okay, I'm going to make a whiskey sour, and that's it.
Okay.
What?
Send it. I love a whiskey sour, man.
If it's not good, then I will tell you it's not good.
No, it's a the name of the drink is so ridiculously stupid.
Save it for after the break, then.
You named
Really?
it though, right?
No, I don't care.
No, don't save it. You
I can
named
save it.
you named the drink,
I
right?
did, yeah.
But it's ridiculously stupid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What is it?
Oh yeah. It's called the Ride or Die Sour because I'm combining rye whiskey and apple cider. So it's a play on words. Rider.
Troy's
Rye,
very into words.
cider.
Yeah.
Get it?
If you guys see Instagram
Rider,
posts
cider.
that look one way and then 20 minutes later look a different way, it's because Troy is obsessed with words.
And he fixes all of the things.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
apparently I use too many commas. I pay for an app because of Troy. Anyway,
All right.
Sometimes you don't use enough either. So,
Troy, let's see what you got after this cocktail break.
Cocktail break.
Cocktail break. And welcome back from Cocktail Break. This Cocktail Break is brought to you by. Do you love that?
You're gonna fucking do these puns right now.
We'll tell the joke. All right, we're gonna take a sip and then I'm gonna tell it
My
after.
girlfriend hates them. But
All right. We're gonna drink drinks.
I've never been so disgusted to hear a pun before.
We're gonna drink Troy's drink and then we're gonna do the break.
Love you.
Because Troy's gonna kill me. All right,
Yeah, easy.
cocktail. Troy, what do we got?
The Ride or Die Sour.
Okay, what is it?
I will tell you after we take a sip.
All right. There's no burning leaves, so
There's no burning leaves.
okay.
You made this one up, bud?
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking good.
Oh God. I'm okay with it.
Is there
I don't even know what is in this.
is the dram in here?
No dram. No.
Really?
Referring to allspice dram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
Was fresh grated nutmeg on top.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You want to think about this while I read the joke?
Wait, actually, yeah. But
Okay.
before,
That's actually probably a good idea.
I want Raj to tell us what's in it. That's
Oh wow! All right, we'll get there after
yeah,
this.
After this, yeah.
All right. This is a blonde joke. Get ready. 3 blonde girls are walking in the woods when they stumble upon a cross. Wow. Can't even talk. 3 blonde girls are walking in the woods when they stumble upon I can't speak, a set of tracks. The first girl, having went to a zoo the last week, claims the tracks are deer tracks. The second blonde laughs. Caitlin, you dumb bitch. Those are bear tracks. Third blonde chimes in. Oh my God, no, you're both wrong. Those are rabbit tracks. They were still arguing when the train hit them. All right.
We got the blonde jokes are. I'm trying not to laugh at him because it's 2022
I know,
and I'm not sexist.
I'm sorry.
Did someone submit that?
No, I just
Because you owe them liquor.
this is funny. All right, anyway. Back
I
to
was
cocktail.
born in
Sorry.
1989.
Yeah,
I'm not as sexist either, but
that's funny right there.
Anyways,
I don't,
all
care,
right.
I don't care who you are. That's funny right there. Raj, what's in this drink?
it's a bit nutty.
it is indeed.
So I would say riff on whiskey sour. We've got a nice head on the top of this, nice foam. I don't know if you typically dry shake, reverse dry shake, however you do it, but clearly your foam is nice and heavy on the top, which is great. Your angle art looks beautiful. Grated nutmeg. I'm going to assume this is a whiskey-based cocktail in whiskey sour riff. I'm getting a lot of nutty aromas. My friend Austin would always say, it's a bit nutty.
I love it. I love it.
Sorry, I watched a show recently. They had a whole show about Austin Powers. It was terrible, but it was so funny. I'm going to say pecans, maybe walnuts, probably pecans though. The balance is nice between the sugar and the acid. My quick critique is I am not getting enough base spirit. That's something that I typically look for. Not everyone does, but I mean, it definitely looks like a whiskey sour. It drinks like a whiskey sour. It's a very well executed whiskey sour. However, I have not put enough pen to paper to figure out what exact whiskey or bourbon you're using in this, but I do enjoy the toasted pecan flavor I'm getting out of this. The nutmeg is also a nice touch. The angle is not too heavy on the top. Microplane nutmeg is always great. Fresh is always best, in my personal opinion. Citrus-wise, not orange. Light lemon, possibly, but I don't think it's... I don't think it's either or. It's not as bright as a lemon, but it's not as juicy as an orange. So I could be right or wrong on that, but so far I'm liking what I'm drinking. Great job, Troy.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It doesn't suck, as a lot of bartenders say.
Thank
It doesn't suck.
Don't suck.
It doesn't suck.
What is it then, Troy?
It is lemon, by the way.
Yeah.
Can I?
Please hit me.
I know there's a pecan liqueur in here because you brought it over.
Yeah.
Which, so, I'll at least say that I'm not going to take credit for that.
Yeah.
I do get this odd walnut characteristic, like you're saying too. It is very nutty. Is that just fresh nutmeg on the top?
Yeah.
Is there any walnut in here?
No.
At all? I don't know. I don't know what that's coming from. I think the Ango, is that the bitter you used?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
On top is great. You did dry shake. You can tell you dry shaked.
I do. Yeah. I've gone back and forth with dry shaking and reverse dry shaking. and I was contemplating, but I've never tried it. I don't know if this is a thing either, so please enlighten me. Going dry, wet, dry, but I didn't do it.
I've actually
Would that be like a benefit?
I think I think from what I understand, the two main methods are either going to be a dry shake, meaning you're going to just put all your ingredients in a tin.
Yep.
With your egg white, shake it dry.
Yep. Which is what I did.
Get it emulsified, which is the goal. Then add your ice for your chill and your dilution, and then strain. Double strain, right?
So the other bit that I'm thinking in my head would be a little bit redundant or
reverse dry shaking is going to be adding your cubes, all your liquid, egg white included. Shake the shit out of it. If you're using, let's say, like nice dry or nice clear ice or something like KD, cold draft cubes, 2 or 3 cubes at a time is perfect for that, for reverse dry shaking. Shake the shit out of it, shake it really hard, get it diluted and chilled, and then strain that out back into your tin, and then dry shake it to get the emulsification. So you're just adding air to give it that nice frothy foam. In my personal opinion, both ways work excellent. It's whatever you prefer.
What do you prefer?
Yeah, exactly.
So it depends, from what my experience is, it depends on kind of where you work. Some beverage directors, some people prefer the reverse dry shake method. Some people prefer the dry shake method, right? Whiskey sours, either one of them is going to work. It's just really what you want best.
We don't have eggs where I work.
Well, that's okay. But I mean, there's always obviously alternatives. You can use aquafaba. You can use all kinds of different things to get that
I've been wanting to fuck with aquafaba.
It's
a
fun.
bunch,
Is it-
man.
is it like
it's really cool,
chickpea?
right?
It's chickpea.
Chickpeas?
Yeah,
Okay.
chickpea
foam,
water. Yeah, the
essentially.
chickpea water. Yeah,
Yep.
same idea, right? But if you're gonna do some like fun ango art, have that nice foamy head on there, you gotta have the whites, egg whites, or the aquafaba, right? Because when I was working behind the bar for a long time, newcomers would come in and sit there at the bar railing. They'll say, "Hey, I want a whiskey sour." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I get egg white in it. Fresh brown egg from the farm, cracked egg white only. They're like, "Baby, honey, look at that! That guy just put a fucking egg white in that drink. Ugh, are you gonna drink that?" Like, you'll get that a lot around here.
I will say I was really weirded out when I first got into cocktails. I was really weirded out by an egg white.
It is weird.
I was like,
it's
what
odd.
is happening?
It
Like
is
I don't
odd,
like salmonella. Like should we? We're like, nah, it's not really a
man.
thing.
No, I mean
Yeah.
the science proves that it's okay, right?
Yeah.
But
I will
it adds a lot to
never
the drink.
forget the first time Mal saw me putting an egg white in a tin, and she was like, "What the fuck are you doing over there?" I was like, and like my wife is allergic to flavor, so every single person I know says, "Wow, Anthony, you make great drinks. Like, can you make me this drink? Can you make me that drink?" And I make everyone drinks, but there's literally not a cocktail on the fucking face of the planet unless it's a blood orange margarita that my wife will like, especially if she sees what I'm putting in it. And
Have you ever thought about working at Applebee's?
I
You could
would.
become the perfect.
That's how
blood
Raj
orange
got his
margarita.
start. I mean, that's how you got your start. I'm going.
I don't know.
You got
which
to in for me at
artist
Applebee's.
or rapper said it first, but I think they said, "I started from the bottom. Now I'm here." Can anyone find
I'm
out?
sort of in the
Do we have
bottom.
a producer over there? Can
that
tell
was
me who said
either-
that
it
on
might
the
be-
laptop? I
is
don't
it
know.
Drake? I think it's Drake.
Is that Drake?
Yeah, it's
I don't know who
Drake.
said
He's
that.
another one of your friends, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
When are you hanging out with Drake?
If it wasn't for my girlfriend, I would not know shit about pop culture.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about that stuff. I just don't have the time or the patience for it. But
I love it.
lyrics like that, she goes like, "Oh, they said that."
Yep.
Although I am a Taylor Swift fan, just so you do know.
Yeah, as are we.
Well,
I tried getting tickets today, but that didn't.
Man,
happen.
a really quick tangent. Sorry, you mentioned
Oh, my
that.
God.
Someone I sat next to tried to get tickets today, and it took like an hour and a half in Ticketmaster. And it was a whole like they were sitting there. It took a total of 2.5, almost 3 hours to get a ticket to Taylor Swift.
They're doing this on the clock, getting paid.
They were doing it on the clock while doing it. Yeah, it was pretty interesting to watch.
God bless America.
Yep. And so the tickets.
you know how many times I've shit on that clock?
they bought?
Bro. I mean, if you ain't shitting at work, where are you shitting?
You got to poop.
Honestly, like
yeah,
people got to poop, right?
yeah.
I mean,
what goes in must come out.
4
if it takes you
tickets.
5 minutes or 20 minutes, I mean,
Tomorrow I'm gonna-
sometimes people just.
Tomorrow I'm gonna duck fat wash those toilets too.
I'm gonna say is
Anyways,
4 tickets. 4 tickets, $1,100. That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Do you have anything
Continue.
more to say about this?
Yeah, I do. Man, I'm so excited for you. You texted me a few weeks ago. I'm so happy you got this fucking job, man. I feel like your
Me too.
creative edge is there. You're back in your elements, and I think honestly, you're the best thing that's ever happened to Connor's Rooftop Bar. And I know you have friends that have worked there in the past, type of thing. But like, they're really giving Troy a creative outlet there, and they're really running with his ideas, which I think is why they hired him. But every drink he texted me. That he wanted to put on the fall cocktail menu or the holiday cocktail menu or whatever. Some even with vodka. and you guys know how I feel about fucking vodka.
Vodka.
Vodka. Baltimore.
There's no D.
Vodka.
Baltimore.
Yeah. You guys know how I feel about vodka. It excited me, man. And it's all original. It's all bright. It's all this drink in general. It kind of reminds me of like a lion's mane a little bit for some reason. Do you get that at all, or is that what it's called, the lion's mane?
Lion's tail.
Yeah, lion's tail. Sorry.
Tail, yeah.
Yep. I got, which is basically, if I remember correctly, it's like a sour riff with allspice dram. That's why I originally asked you about the dram.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. I think the head on it was perfect. It's extremely well balanced. The acid's there, the sugar's there. I do agree with Raj. I would like to get more of the rye. Did you use Rittenhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Rittenhouse, in my personal opinion. And Raj, maybe you tell me how you feel about Rittenhouse. I love Rittenhouse in cocktails, but I feel like Rittenhouse does a better job of showcasing the other ingredients than it does of poking out itself. Which is, and we actually did a stirred cocktail 3 episodes where we compared Heaven Hill products to Wild Turkey products to making, classic cocktails. And the Rittenhouse rye versus the 101 rye, I mean, honestly, you can tell when turkey's in a drink and it's bold. I kind of feel like a bolder whiskey would pop here, either like a Michter's or a Wild Turkey or something a little bit brighter. Not so much that spearminty, minty type of rye, but like a bold malted type of rye I feel like would hit a little bit better here. But obviously Rittenhouse is a staple and it showcases the other ingredients. But we're brown liquor heads here, man. I can see at Connor's rooftop bar this being a hit.
Well, don't think too deep into that because it's going to look very different
I
and
said,
taste very different.
We didn't talk about ratios, did we?
We didn't talk about anything yet.
Oh, let's talk about
ratios. What do you
Troy,
do?
what's in the drink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so predominantly Rittenhouse rye. It's 1.5 ounces. It is 3/4 ounce apple cider. It is 1/2 ounce lemon juice. And here is where we kind of get a little we differ.
Nutty? Would you say? Get nutty?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We differ tonight from what the drink is going to be on our menu. Before I got here, I made a salted caramel simple syrup. I want you all to try it because motherfucker, it is so goddamn good.
All right.
I wanted salt in this drink. I think it could hit a little bit harder, potentially, but I still do. Since I know it's in here, I get it. But I wanted salted caramel in this drink from the very get-go, and the way I'm going to make it at the place I work at the rooftop, I'm actually going to use maple syrup instead, just because this is the first time I've ever made caramel in my entire life. Thankfully, I stood at the stove for 40 minutes. Like, I didn't want to take a chance of burning the sugar, so that was why it came out good. But otherwise, like, I don't want to put the stress on other bartenders or anybody else to like make perfect fucking caramel and shit.
Would it be crazy to put? I know nothing about cocktails. Would it be weird to put like kosher salt, like sprinkle a little bit on top of the cocktail? If you're going for salt, like
I mean, as he's sitting here saying this, and this might be like the placebo effect, but like
I wouldn't have thought salted caramel when I'm drinking.
Well, I have it. It's here. It's on.
But
It's on
right
the
now that I'm
finish.
thinking about it.
Yeah,
Sure.
It's very subtle.
It's a very subtle
Yeah.
salt type of caramel finish. Are you getting that at all, or?
Oh no, I definitely get some saltiness to it for sure. I don't know if that's from the pecans or if they were salted or not or whatever nuttiness is in there. But I mean, to me, a lot of cocktails are enhanced by salt, just like cooking and making food, right? A simple saline solution is always good, like a 20%, 80% saline solution is always good. Like a drop of that goes a long way.
Interesting.
Which would be really good in this.
Huh.
But I'm getting enough of the salt to make it savory enough.
Yeah.
This is a very savory cocktail.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a sour cocktail technically, but it's still very savory in the sense of the nuttiness. In my mind, I'm thinking like pecan pie, not a la mode. I'm an a la mode guy. Like, I love me some fucking vanilla bean ice cream on fucking anything, cake, pie, whatever. But I'm not getting that. But the way my brain thinks, I'm thinking about what Troy just did, and he made a great drink. This is a really, really tasty drink. It's a very fun playing on a whiskey sour with the pecan, the nuttiness, and everything that's going on there. And I love Rittenhouse. Like I would drink all the time. I've had a lot of great times at Rittenhouse. But I would almost like think like, you know, a 2-ounce pour would be sufficient for this. It would have given me like a little bit more like, you know, like a little something more in there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this was a drinker for sure. Like I pounded this.
It's gone.
Super.
Yeah.
It's done.
I had to put it down, or else I would have finished it.
Yeah.
Raj is the first guest who can keep up with me.
And 1.5 is great. Like and like a lot of like standard things, you know. But 2, it works as well. I wouldn't go over 2. It's with like 100 proof, you know, Rittenhouse as it is. But the salinity of it was there. It was great, you know. But as I was drinking this, I enjoyed it so much. I started thinking like, in my brain, I was like, okay, what can we do like next? Like, what's the next thing? Like, how can we like make this like even better? Like for what it is. Like, and you're throwing out some great ideas about what you're talking about and everything. And I was like, man, like, this is like a pecan pie cocktail. Yeah. Like to me, it's like it's pecan pie. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The nutmeg was there. It was subtle. It was nice. I love the angle art. It was nice. The mouthfeel was great with the egg white. I could eat some more bourbon in there, some more rye whiskey in there. The lemon was very balanced in there as well for the acid. But I'm like, okay, well, like this is a pecan forward crushable cocktail. Yeah. Like, how do I make like a la mode, like some pecan pieces, maybe like some milk, something in there, like something.
I thought about the pecan pieces.
You know, like
I opted to not.
Honestly, I think like whatever you did, like whatever your ratios were, like bump up to 2 ounces, like 2 3/4, 2 1/2, 2 1 3/4. However you want to do it with the egg white, solid. Like I don't know how you made your pecan.
Well, I didn't. That's the thing. I'm going to tell you 3 things really quick. The first of which is it's actually a pecan liqueur that's made by Rivulet out of Louisville.
Okay. Oh, that was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You know it?
We tried it.
Why was it warm when you brought it here?
Yeah. What?
Why was it warm when you?
No, that was the syrup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the salted caramel syrup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is not I did not make the pecan liqueur. Have to say that. As far as I'm aware, and I've tasted it multiple times, there's not salt in it. So the salt, any salt that you would have gotten from this cocktail was coming from the salt that I put in the salted caramel.
How did you apply that salt? Was it just like sprinkled kosher salt in there, or was it a solution?
It was. Did
you spit in there? You can tell me. It's fine.
It was cum.
Wow.
Anthony, all right.
It was half a tablespoon of Italian sea salt, Sardinian sea salt.
Those Sardinians.
I promise you,
those guys.
I promise you, I did not.
They know what they're doing over there.
Salt in this shit.
I mean, they're canned sardines. They gotta have salt in there, right?
The second thing I'm gonna say is the drinks that I'm making for this menu are not exclusively from my palate.
Right.
I need to be thinking about the larger audience.
100%, and that's literally what I was saying before too.
Yeah,
like you got to know your audience when you're working at Connor's rooftop bar, and I think this would hit there.
Yeah,
if they went downstairs to Copper Spoon, I would probably the 2 ounce thing or different rye in general, even at the 1 ounce mark, or 1.5 ounce mark, like you said, something a little higher proof or something.
I mean, you're not getting that cocktail at Showgirl 3 or Showgirl 1.
But if you were,
I was thinking of Connor's rooftop first.
Just saying
for that drink. But honestly, though, like Troy, I'm telling you that drink is very, very drinkable.
Thank you.
And I think the balance is right, spot on. I'm not familiar with the pecan liqueur you're referencing. Sure, I'm not familiar with that.
I wasn't either. Yeah, I took a chance.
But I think the flavor of that was very well balanced and paired with everything else you did in there. If I had any major critique,
just a little bit more.
More whiskey.
More whiskey, man. Like I think that,
I would like that drink more.
And I understand why you put 1.5 because 1.5 is a great standard in a lot of cocktail making. Yeah. 2 ounces is always good too, but 100 proof. Like trust me, like I'm all about the spirit shining in the cocktail.
Yeah.
You can hit me with the heat, but I understand where you're coming from. It's like, hey, we got to be approachable. It's got to be crushable by a common guest that would come to our establishment and have a cocktail on the seasonal menu. It works great.
Thank you.
I would just say, like, try with 2 ounces. Let your
you
staff, let your team.
Troy, on Sunday, this Sunday when we watch the Giants beat the shit out of the Lions, we're gonna drink 6 of those.
Yeah, man. Let your team try it. Let your friends try it and see what they think of it too. Like,
another thing I thought that was definitely missing was the textural component, like something crispy or crunchy to contrast everything. I bought a bag of pecans, and I just basically didn't give myself any time to like make a candied sort of salty, like a sweet and salty sort of pecan. And I was gonna mash it up and maybe do around the rim because I was inspired by the Drink on Drink Masters. I think it
was Tone in your house?
Was
Did
it
he say
Suzu?
hands up? I love
it was-
Suzu. I think Suzu's
he did
awesome.
the pistachio.
by the way.
No, no, it wasn't. It wasn't Suzu. It was Alex. He did the pistachio around the rim for his pistachio drink, and I was like, "Fuck, I should be doing that with this fucking pecan drink, shouldn't I?" But it was too late.
Anyway, I think it's a fucking crushable, fantastic
Yeah,
cocktail.
thank
Like I said, man, all the originals that you've brought up recently have really been kind of eye opening. I'm very happy. Like,
dude,
it's an elevation for you, especially having resources and things like that. I think it's awesome, man. So
I'm very grateful. But hey, I want to see what you got in store, baby.
well,
Before that, we got to rank it officially.
I mean, it's a drinker. It's
You going straight drinker?
it's a fucking.
Oh yeah, Matt didn't even talk about it.
That's right. I don't need to.
No, Matt's our apprentice. He doesn't talk.
I'm just here to enjoy. I get to.
Yeah.
This is my favorite kind of episode.
That was probably one of the most crushable drinks I've had on here. I mean, I would put a thinker characteristic in it too, just because of maybe how deep it is. I feel like if the whiskey shined, or if there was a more complex whiskey that didn't really elevate the rest of the ingredients in there, maybe I would put a thinker tag on there. But that's a drinker, man, all day, 100%.
I'll take it. Thanks.
Yeah.
I would say it flirts with a drinker thinker, but I am indeed going just drinker.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will go drinker, but I do have one last follow-up question.
Yeah.
Why Rittenhouse? Is it
That's
because of the pun in the name? Why rye whiskey?
That's a
why
great- that's a-
not
that's a-
bourbon?
That's
why not
a great
something
question.
else?
Honestly,
Why not Allspice Dram all the way?
Send it.
well, I'm doing a different cocktail with allspice drain. Dude, I don't have a solid reason for that. I have a bourbon cocktail, a stirred bourbon cocktail. I mean, it's a riff on an old fashioned, and I wanted to have 2 whiskey cocktails on the menu, one of which was stirred, one of which was shaken, and I figured maybe not just do those 2 differences, but have one bourbon and one rye.
Mm.
And I love Rittenhouse, and I thought the spice essence would, I don't know, it I guess I thought it would hit a little bit harder, but the other thing is I this is the first time I've ever made the drink like this with an egg white. The way I've been doing it, like I said, I've swapped maple for salted caramel, and I've also not been doing the bitter art because you can't really do bitters you can't really make bitters look pretty when there's no egg white foam. So I've just been doing the grated nutmeg, and I feel like the Rittenhouse has kind of kicked a little bit harder without the egg white. But dude, honestly, I don't have a great answer for you. I really don't.
If I could give any kind of just throwing out into the universe for you to try and riff off anything different.
Yeah.
Rittenhouse I love. It's great stuff. 100 proof. Maybe try split basing it with some apple brandy, maybe some Laird's 100 proof apple brandy.
Love.
Because I didn't get a lot of apple from the cider as much as I got more of the nuttiness from the pecan liqueur.
That's a great point. He was talking about apple cider before he made it, and I was wondering where it was at.
And that's funny. I mean, 3/4 ounce apple cider versus a quarter ounce.
But you can go like 50-50, 1 ounce of Laird's apple brandy and then rye Rittenhouse and go with that and see how it tastes.
Yeah.
Try that out.
And then half ounce apple cider
Sure.
versus
Yeah, exactly. Because like in the Laird's does have a nice, good, crisp apple flavor to it.
The bonded, they have that bonded one, right?
I have the
find
bonded
the
one
bonded.
upstairs.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I have the bonded one
I
upstairs.
haven't been able to find the bonded at Cap and Cork anytime recently, but if you can find like the Laird's,
They have it at
brand,
Gaze, I believe.
Do they have it? Yeah, like get the bottle and bond.
I'm
Laird's
also a
from Heaven
fucking
Hill.
Calvados junkie when I can.
Yeah,
afford
and
it
try
or
that
find
too.
it
Like
too,
I mean,
but,
because
like,
I said, I got some apple in there, but I got more of the nuttiness from the pecans, right?
Okay.
Because that liqueur, whatever you were using, was prominent, but it was well prominent. It was good.
Just a quarter ounce. Yeah, a little bit goes a long way.
Yeah, but if you want to put more apple into that with the apple cider, drop the cider for your sweetness. If you're doing 2 ounces of full spirit, try 50-50, 1 ounce of Rittenhouse and apple brandy, 100 proof. Just play with that. Like you can just try that out. Do a few takes of that, see how it tastes to you, and see if it changes any at all. And then everything else is the same. Always remember, if you're gonna R&D a cocktail, change one thing at a time. don't change two things at a time, right? Scientific method.
Yeah.
Change one thing at a time. So adjust this one thing, however you got to do it.
Yeah.
It's always the most important part. So that way you can like have that log in your brain of like, hey, this was what made it different.
Yeah. I like that. Appreciate that, Ben.
Damn. All right.
All right,
What you got?
man. So I told the story I think earlier, maybe off camera or on camera. My cousins flew in from Colorado. We went to Mercado last year, and I think it might have either been before your time or after your time there, but there was this milk punch that we tried there. And it was a Thai curry coconut milk punch, and my cousin Ashley loves it. My cousin Sean loves it.
Why does
too.
it gotta be a Thai curry coconut milk punch, man?
Well, that's what it was. That's the one I'm talking about. That's what it was.
Okay.
I think that's what they called it.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. But it was fucking delicious. It was mezcal based, which I love. And I've been wanting to make milk punch ever since. And with the holidays coming up,
Why's it got to be curry, man? I know I'm Indian, but I mean, why's it got to be curry?
I'm not. That's not what I'm making
work there
tonight.
then, like, I mean,
Hey.
what are you trying to say here?
Hey, hey, oh,
Let's just
oh,
make your
you're
cocktail.
talking
We'll
to
come
me all
back.
wrong.
We'll come back.
So I'm making a pumpkin spice latte milk punch.
All right.
Send it.
Send it.
I
Let's see what
want
you
to
got.
try this
That's
right
what
now.
That's
I'm
what I
so
have.
excited, dude.
Pumpkin
Cocktail
spice
break.
latte coming up.
Cocktail break. And welcome back from cocktail break, whatever the heck we're doing over here.
Tractor
I believe
break.
it's
Cracktail.
Welcome back to Tractor Break.
Tractors.
This Tractor Break is brought to you by Milling Your Own Grains. And by that, I mean Yeasty Boy Bread Company, brought to you by Kyle and Courtney. I think our special special guest, Raj, has a special message for Kyle. If you would, Raj, after you eat his delicious crackers.
It's almost just as bad as Troy.
I love it.
Yeah, that was our cracker break brought to you by Yeasty Boy Bread Company. Kyle makes some amazing bread and crackers. I grew up eating a lot of saltines in my life, but damn, these crackers here, best bang for your buck, folks. Farmers Market, Fort Wayne, crackers. Get it.
Damn.
Boom.
You take my job, goddamn.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you do.
That's how you do
That's
it.
how you do a sponsor ad right there.
Yeah, all right. Well, I won't even read you. You know what?
No.
Hey, Anthony. I hate when people ask how I see myself in 3 years. I don't have 2025 vision. God.
Why are you laughing?
Because
Me and you are in this
I
together.
love the dad
Puns.
jokes. I love the puns.
It's
They're
so
the best.
dumb. All right, Anthony, what we got?
This is a pumpkin spice latte clarified milk punch that I made.
Can you say that one more time?
It's a pumpkin spice latte. It's a clarified pumpkin spice latte milk punch.
So PSL,
PSLM?
PSLMP.
PSLM.
Just give it a fucking whiff, man. It smells great. I'm like super proud of myself. This is my first attempt at milk
I'm
punch.
so excited, dude. I fucking love milk punch.
And the whole goal here, I made this milk punch actually to make another cocktail with, which I'm gonna pick your brain about a little bit, Raj.
For us, and by I mean the viewers at home who don't know what milk punch is, what is milk punch?
Raj, what is milk punch? I just
Wow.
make it.
All right.
So you know, when a mom and a dad get together on
When a
Sunday,
mom
Saturday
milk
nights,
and a dad milk.
you know, after WWE airs, you might hear some noise. No, I'm sorry. So a milk punch is a kind of a shorthand term for a clarified milk punch. It's English style cocktail, and I said that English style because it was kind of developed and perfected in the UK and England, right?
Isn't it like traditionally based with tea as well?
It is. So, I mean, you think like punch, right? Punch is a English Indian style cocktail. Using 5 ingredients. It's tea based, it's water based, it's booze, it's spirit, it's citrus, it's sugar, it's all these things. But the addition of milk or fat, as it were, is a way to round out the edges of this cocktail, right? So you're milk washing it. So you're taking whole milk typically, and the milk solids, the milk fats in this milk is then going to combined with the spirits and the other ingredients in your cocktail. You're going to fine strain that through. There's some other cool, fun scientific methods to clarify it and whatever. But it's going to do 2 things for you. It's going to round out your cocktail and make it much more smoother to drink, give it a different mouthfeel, as well as extract color from the drink. It's typically what's going to happen with a milk punch.
There's definitely been clear milk punch, and I think that probably has to do with how much you strain it and all that.
I think that would more depend on the spirit you're using, though.
I mean,
I don't think you could. Could you make a brown liquor milk punch?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you,
completely clear.
You could.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
It could be done.
Damn.
Yes, it could. Like I said, it takes some more
Science.
science behind it, but it could be done if you have the right tools and the right ingredients. It can be done if you have the right patience and the time.
So this took me about 3.5 days to make. And again, it's going to be a base ingredient in another cocktail that I'm going to make, which I'm going to call a basic bitch Mai Tai, which I'm making homemade orange liqueur and allspice dram and almond butter washed overproof rum and lime juice and this essentially, and maybe some rye too. I might throw some rye in on top, but we'll see.
Is this for the?
This is for the Thanksgiving cocktail competition that is past because it's past Thanksgiving at this point.
Before anyone
I'm
says,
definitely gonna lose this.
I'll say before anyone says anything, I love this.
Yeah.
Before whatever comments are made, I really enjoy this. So I'm just gonna put that out there.
I'm happy with it. It took some time, but I'm pretty. And honestly, if it wasn't for Drink Masters, I probably wouldn't. And if it wasn't for Mercado, before you rudely cut me off and call me racist before. By the way, I had 10 people in my wedding party as groomsmen. 6 of them were Indian. Just so you know,
yeah.
some of my best friends in the
If I don't
world.
see pictures, I can't
Yeah.
believe that. So
Yeah,
I want
I
proof,
mean-
but
Arun,
I'm the
Sonny,
pastiest one.
Yeah, I mean they're Parth. They're all my best friends in the world. Just so you know. But
Never mind. I have responses, but I'm not gonna say anything. So go ahead and talk about your drink.
yeah, tell me about your drink. I'll
Yeah.
send this.
all right, so I took a couple lemons, a couple oranges, and I zested them in a 6-liter container.
That's a good crunch.
Go ahead.
This is part of the stress of the competition.
No,
Come on.
it's totally cool.
Yeah.
And then I took some homemade pumpkin spice that I threw together, were just typical pumpkin spices. Put that in there with the zest. I did a cup and a half of white sugar, a cup and a half of brown sugar, and a vanilla bean, and I muddled it. And I let that sit overnight after I muddled it in the container on the counter, room temperature. Next day, I took about a cup and a half of espresso and a cup and a half of bourbon infused coffee, and I made it hot, and then I poured it in, and I dissolved the sugar. I stirred it around so that the sugar dissolved. I added a can of pumpkin puree, about 4 cups or so of rabbit hole rye, and which requires more than 1 bottle for you guys, using the metric system out there, and then about 4 cups of white rum. I used Bacardi Superior. Whisked that in, and then like you said, whole milk. We used 4 cups or about a quart of whole milk. Let that go to a slow rolling boil. I used about a half a cup of orange juice and about a cup and a half of lemon juice. After it hit the rolling boil, I turned the heat off, dumped the acid in there, essentially let it turn into ricotta cheese and curdle up. Let that cool for about an hour. Throw it in the same 6-liter container as the cocktail, essentially. Let it sit for about 50 hours. And then took about 5 fucking hours and 30 yards of cheesecloth to strain it. But it's a painstaking process, but I think it's fucking delicious. Honestly, I'm very happy with the way it came out with. And that's basically an all-original recipe, which I'm pretty excited about. I did some research, and there's similar ones out there. This you absolutely, I feel like most milk punches are basically batch cocktails, which I think are elevated batch cocktails these days for places that are high volume and need something elevated on the menu. Argue with me if you want, but this is a cocktail, right? There's not much prep I had to do with this. I chilled a glass, put a large cube in it, put a cinnamon stick in it, and twisted an orange peel over it. That's about it, man.
The coffee come through a lot.
It does, and I mean, it's bold espresso, and you know, and
I get the bitterness for sure.
yeah. What do you think, man?
I don't know why you've been yelling at me this last 2 minutes.
That's just how Jersey people talk. You know?
Oh, is that how it is?
There's no curry in here. That's why.
Turnpike.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a milk punch over here.
Hey, what a milk punch!
buddy.
Hey,
Hey.
turn left, 80 exit A.
You know what's funny is 90% of people from New Jersey fucking hate Bon Jovi, but story for a
I've never
different
been a
day.
big fan. The best Bon Jovi song, in my opinion, "Dry County." Not good for this show here, obviously,
Yeah.
right? But
That
one
should
of the
be our
best
theme
songs.
song.
My best friend growing up, his mom loved that song, and I loved it too. But
Bet she's a cougar.
Praline, no, she was a very nice lady.
No.
Very, very nice lady. I didn't know what cougars were back then, besides a wild animal.
John Cougar.
I was just thinking of John Cougar Mellencamp
The
and
John Cougar Mellencamp.
John Bon
yes,
Jovi.
yeah. Okay, so first off, the aroma, I definitely get a lot of that espresso and that coffee, which I think is great. Throws me off based on the color. I'm like, oh well, like this is a milk punch. I'm like, I don't really expect the coffee, but I get a lot of coffee. I see you have the orange peel and the cinnamon stick in there. I love the pairing of citrus oils with coffee. I think they go very well together. They kind of like play hand in hand. It's almost like green coffee versus roasted brewed coffee. Kind of like a play on like the young versus old, which is great. So the nose I definitely do love. When I'm looking at it, it's not as clear and opaque as I would have thought in most milk punches that I've seen before, which isn't a bad thing. It could be, based on what your blend is and everything. It sounds like you had a lot of different ingredients going on in the glass, which is awesome. One thing that, and you asked me to be brutally honest, and I'll be honest with you as well. You're measuring things in like cups a lot of the time, like half cup, quarter cup, full cup, and whatnot. The suggestion I would make is doing that more based on volume or by grams in weight, right? I think you're going to get a lot more accurate results when it comes to doing ratios of milk to batch or citrus to spirit. Even though it's a punch-style drink, it still should be, in my mind, in my opinion, thought of as a cocktail, as like a classic cocktail in a way, right? If you want to put it down in those formats where it's like, I need, a 2 ounce, 3/4, or a 2 1/2 with a modifier, or a 2 1/2 quarter situation. Think of that as like, when you're batching out a big drink like this, think of it in the same light as that, where it's like I had 128 ounces, or, keeping it simple, I had 1 liter of spirit with 3/4 ounce of modifier of sugar and citrus in that sour cocktail, right? Starting with that building block will help you tailor this to be a lot more balanced, as I should say. It is balanced. I like it. It is very balanced. I love the coffee. I'm a coffee drinker myself, and I love that I get a lot of the coffee in that. You said, what were the 2 base spirits in this?
I used rye. I used Rabbit Hole rye, and I used white rum.
Okay.
Yeah. Bacardi Superior.
Why'd you choose those 2 things?
Honestly, I wanted to do a rye I actually enjoyed. I thought rye would be more seasonal over bourbon type of thing. And I mean, I have like fucking 5 bottles of Bacardi Superior, and and I knew putting white rum in here would probably be a good idea, considering most, like, again, this is my first attempt at milk punch, so like most milk punch recipes you look up type of thing, you see some sort of rum in there, but I wanted it to be rye heavy, and I feel like that Rabbit Hole rye, most Rabbit Hole products in general, kind of just pop in a drink, and it's not too spearmint heavy or just like rye spice heavy, but it is a very apparent that it's rye, but it's also just very well made, in my opinion. So that's why I wanted to use that over something more bland. I mean, it's a $55 fucking bottle of whiskey. It's bougie shit to be making a milk punch out of, but at the same time, I didn't want it to be masked. I wanted it to pop a little bit. So
I guess my last question is then, remind me again, what was your inspiration for this? Like, why? What made you think about this drink as like what flavors you chose, and
Yeah.
What were you thinking when you made this drink?
So the big inspiration is all three of us have a Thanksgiving gathering, and we do a cocktail competition every year. And I wanted to stay seasonal, but make something extremely elevated. And I wanted to try to at least infuse or hand make every ingredient of my cocktail. That was my goal this year. So I am making my own a couple of liqueurs and things like that upstairs, and I'm gonna wash some overproof rum like I was telling you before. But I was like, well, it's Thanksgiving. I had a pumpkin spice latte that morning, and I was like, this is fucking terrible. Like, Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes are fucking terrible. It's chemicals. Like, so then I just, like, for some reason I was like, I want to make an actual pumpkin spice latte today, like with pumpkins. Like, I wanted to make, because I love coffee too. I'm a big coffee guy. And then it just kind of hit me. It's like, huh. And I was sitting on the couch, and I was watching Drink Masters, actually, and there was a guy in there. I don't remember what contestant it was, but it seemed like every episode, and even one of the girls, the girl with the shaved head, I always forget her name. She's super, obviously great mixologist, but she's like, if we're gonna do milk punches every time, like, this might as well be a milk punch competition, because the other guy was literally just making milk punches, and I was like,
it's the thing.
Yeah, and you know what? I was like, I want to try to make a milk punch. Why don't I make a PSL fucking milk punch? Like, that can't suck at all.
PSLMP.
Yeah, like, it literally can't suck. So did some research, and there's some recipes out there, but none of them were what this was. And I don't know. I mean, I just kind of did it. But the inspiration was, the end goal was to make a cocktail that we could sip on like this. Also, I mean, I have about a gallon of it up there still, but also that I can use as a base spirit in a Mai Tai, which is a boozy cocktail to begin with, and just kind of add the seasonal pumpkin flavor and the coffee flavor into that drink. That was the goal, at least.
Cool.
I think that answers your question.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I get. I mean, it's my palate of coffee and citrus, and it suits me very well. I don't get a ton of of alcohol personally in it, so that's probably the only thing I would change. But I really like it. So
There's a lot of alcohol.
I know it doesn't taste like it. Though.
Yeah, a lot of alcohol. Troy, what do you got, man?
Is it Troy the Body Ventura? Is that whatever they're called?
The governor of Indiana, Troy the Body Ventura. Everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm so proud of you. I think this is delicious. I think I've made one milk punch in my life, and it's actually reminiscent of this. I don't think you vividly remember it because we were consuming a lot of alcohol around Christmas.
It was an eggnog punch, wasn't it, or something like that?
No.
Okay. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
No.
don't even think. Yeah.
You made homemade eggnog one year, though, didn't you?
No.
Well.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
But anyway, but I there was coffee in mine too, and I love like Raj said, I love the juxtaposition of the freshness of the citrus and like the the roasted quality of the coffee, and I mean it's like it's simple in the glass, but holy fuck, man, did you put a lot of effort and time into making this, and I am beyond excited for the Mai Tai.
I mean, I feel like if I keep making things like that, it's not going to take anywhere near as much time,
repetition
either. But
yeah,
honestly, straining it was the most, and a lot of the time it took, I was either sitting on my couch or at work.
Yeah,
right. It was like it had to sit. But
do you? I'm actually. This is a question for Raj. Do you use a chinois to when you do something like this?
Shishi.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I understand that it's I don't know what it means. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I can tell you exactly.
Yeah, chinois, yes, for sure.
Okay.
So I will typically use a chinois with coffee filters.
Yeah, which is for people who obviously wouldn't know, is like a kind of like a double cone strainer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a fairly large like metal cone strainer that like it itself is a strainer, and then there's like a sieve on the other side of it, right?
It's basically like if you were gonna strain a big like cauldron of soup, and you're gonna get the broth out of it. You know what I mean? Like it's a big industrial strainer.
Yeah,
that
industrial
is
the word. Yeah,
it's just a good culinary tool like we talked about earlier
Yeah.
in my previous things. Is that it's a tool it's a strainer that you can strain like not just like pasta noodles and water out of, but like you can strain like a full like broth, soup, stock out of, and get all the liquid out and keep all the food bits in. But then when you add a coffee filter in there, which is typically what's done with milk punches, I typically would use like a shinwa to like strain out like the bulk of the stuff,
which saves the time. I feel
it
like.
does. But then like a fine mesh strainer with coffee filters in there is like the ideal way to do it. It's the slow way. It's like the slow, tried and true way to like straight or to filter out your milk punch. Not everyone has access to like a centrifuge or a spinzall, which can help speed that process up. Obviously, there's some scientific ways to make it faster, but
I was wondering about that.
Milk punches are great,
myself.
but they are time-consuming cocktails. They're very like
I think it's worth it though, man, because that's like that's a depthy drink.
It is, and speaking of drink masters, on Netflix, if you're watching the show, you'll see people making milk punches and stuff. And yes, can you make a milk punch in a half an hour, 30 minutes, an hour, 90 minutes? Yeah, you can. Can you make a lot of them? No. Because it does take time to strain and filter and get cleared out, But if you're trying to make, 3 or 4 6-ounce cocktails, God willing, you can get it done in that amount of time. But it does take gravity and time and however you make it happen, happen. So, but they're great. I mean, I always think that milk punches are a great drink to do. The best advice I always give is, understand what a punch is, understand how a punch is made, and then make that correctly, and then add milk. Milk is the last part. Like if you're for your drink especially, is like the base drink has to be delicious. The milk is the last part. It's the last feather in the cap to what you're going to do to your drink, because you're going to add texture, mouthfeel, round out the booze. It makes it where you can have a very boozy drink taste not boozy at all by adding that milk. Whole milk especially. And if you do it in the right ratio, if you know the right ratio to add your milk to batch, will make it be a really great drink. And then you can work on clarification and all that things later on. But it's all about, the base drink has to be good to make it work out right. Just like with a whiskey sour, right? It has to be balanced before you add the egg white to make it mouthfeel and texture, right? Just like with milk. So you guys did very similar drinks tonight, which is awesome. But it's all about, the base drink has to be good before you add in that last little component modifier to make it over the top.
Yeah, love it.
Was my base drink not good? Because I thought it was pretty good.
You asked me to be brutally honest.
Yeah.
I will say that I believe Troy's base drink was a bit more balanced than your base drink was.
I would agree with that, I think.
I'll just be honest and say that his base was a little bit more balanced than yours.
And you thought his was unbalanced.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said it needed more whiskey.
Well,
I thought it had been
balanced.
boozier.
Yeah.
It was balanced. I would have wanted it to be more boozy.
And then we give the guy the boozier drink. And I'm just saying
But
that's
you can have boozier drink and it still be.
I agree, man. Like if there was something missing in the balance there, what do you think? I feel like it's coffee and citrus
too
heavy.
Too much coffee. I love the coffee, but it's too much coffee.
I almost wonder, instead of just because I did split it half and half espresso and actual coffee. I just wonder if I just went straight coffee instead of splitting it. I'm wondering where that balance. I mean, I personally enjoy it. I don't feel it's unbalanced, but like you literally are the fifth ranked national bartender in the world.
The forwardness of this drink, and I think this is a very drinkable drink. Honestly,
yeah.
And
well, what would you change though?
Looking at it now, like as clarified as it is, it looks really nice for having espresso, which is a dark roasted coffee, and coffee in it. It clarified very, very well. I'm not sure what the ratio of milk you put in there to your batch. I typically do about like a 20% ratio of milk to batch.
It was about
20%. Really?
20%.
Correct.
Yeah, it was.
So you can squirrel that away in your recipe books if you like. But yeah, it's about 20% milk to what I have is what I typically do for milk punches. I'll let it
more than I would have thought. Yeah,
coagulate, mix in, and then strain through. But when I build a milk punch, I typically will be like, hey, like start out by making like a typical sour drink. You know,
You actually like make the drink
a bullshit
like
classic cocktail
with the base of the punch.
Make,
and then,
yeah, make
That's
a,
great advice, too.
Yeah.
Make
because
a,
I literally
make a whiskey
just, I
sour,
literally
New York
just batched the
sour,
cocktail.
Yeah.
make a French 75, make a daiquiri, make
French
whatever you
85.
want. You know, whatever recipe you use, make that. Scale it up for whatever you need it to be scaled up to as far as like quantity goes, and then 20% milk to that. Add the milk, stir it up really, really good, let it sit, and then strain it.
Yeah.
Dump it into your strainer, coffee filter, let it go, and taste that. And use that as your like, you know, control. That's your control, right? It's like, hey, this is what this tastes like. It's a drink. I know what it tastes like, but fat wash with milk. That's what you're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then go from there. And then you can start, okay, well, now if I'm going to make a milk punch, which punch is like a thing. It's a category of drink. It's got 5 ingredients, whatever. Figure that out. And be like, okay, well, like it's got tea and water and spirit and sugar and citrus and bitters and whatever. Figure that out. Then add milk. The milk is about mouthfeel and texture. It's not about it being clear and like cool. It makes it taste really, really fucking good. It's true. But if you mess up the first part, the second part, adding the milk isn't going to taste as good if the first part doesn't taste good, right?
Yeah.
It's all about, that.
Well, what would you do to balance that out?
This right here, oh, man, you made a great drink. I mean, it does taste really, really
Yeah,
fucking
because
good.
you're about to finish it, I think. Yeah.
I already finished mine.
I think you were the first one, Matt.
Yeah, probably. I just love coffee. Sorry.
But yeah, please.
You expressed your orange
So
peel in there?
yeah, I expressed an orange peel and then I put one in separately for a garnish. So I expressed the peel, discarded it, and then did a garnish peel as well.
Good on you for that. Like,
Yeah.
citrus oils always make a great accent to any drink, especially on the nose. Because when I drink a drink for the first time, I'm gonna smell it.
Yep.
If it's a dram pour of whiskey or bourbon, I'm gonna smell it first, just like with any cocktail, right? So with this, I definitely got a lot of that citrus. I didn't get a lot of the cinnamon. I got more of the citrus notes on there too, right? But then it was citrus, and then boom, it was coffee right away. So I mean, I was missing some of that base spirit. Being a milk punch, you're gonna lose some of that spirit because it is milk washed with fat and whatnot. However, I didn't get a lot of the pumpkin. I'll be completely honest. I didn't get a lot of pumpkin. Like if you were to say, hey, this is a PSL milk punch, I didn't get.
Did you get like those seasonal pumpkin spice latte spices?
I did get a lot of those spice notes.
Yeah.
Pumpkin
for sure.
has no flavor though.
It's a weird thing, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's bland. Like the spice from pumpkin comes from what you put into it.
That's so interesting because like I really personally, and I absolutely respect your advice on this. I really feel like the PSL aspect of this drink is forward and the latte part of it more than anything.
I respect your opinion, but you're wrong.
A lot of L, a little S, a little P.
Well, it's a lot of L. It's a lot of L, but like, and like let me tell you, straining fucking pumpkin puree.
That I would imagine would add to the process.
Yeah, that's why it took so long.
Yeah.
And I mean, and if you look at the punch, it's got a taint to it, but it's pretty clear, man. Like you can see through the shit.
Did you say taint?
Yeah,
Every episode has to have the word tainted somewhere, no matter what.
It's a fun word.
And just so I can prove a point to our editor Shelby, that is a request of Troy the Body Viglotti.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Viglotti, ladies and gentlemen. Come on down.
Ventura.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the pumpkin pie spice in there shines more than like the actual pumpkin.
Why are you yelling at me right now?
I'm talking.
You have to yell at me right
It's
now.
the way I fucking talk. This is the way I fucking
Is this
talk.
the Jersey side of him
Yep.
right now? It's like
Here
he's
we
yelling at me
go.
right
I'm
now?
not yelling, I'm talking.
Am I gonna get whacked here in about 5 minutes before I have to go home?
Yeah, you think you're going home?
I'm getting whacked.
You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I hope you like getting tossed in a fucking dryer. Anyway,
Like
I'm
a
gonna
Negroni.
toss your salad, buddy.
Like a Negroni.
Toss that salad.
I'm just saying the pumpkin pie spice pops
Don't
out,
be
but
sorry.
like the pumpkin pie texture is not there. And maybe
Yeah,
there
yeah,
could be
yeah,
more
yeah,
puree like to it.
It's like how do you make up for the lack of texture when you're straining everything out?
Yeah.
That's true. And like you said, like pumpkin spice, like the whole thing is like it's such a subjective flavor profile, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like it could be like very like cinnamon, cardamom, cinnamon, vanilla heavy, or it could be not so much, right?
Yeah.
Pumpkin's a very bland.
Yeah.
gourd
It's
thing, right?
yeah.
You got to add things to it, to make it taste that way.
Yeah.
Maybe if you went like a chai forward kind of style, right? It was like
I can see that.
chai, like masala chai, cardamom, black pepper, all of that with a whiskey, a rye, whatever flavors you're looking for. Adding that into it, making that base what it was, and then adding your milk, straining it through, making it into a punch. Could have been different,
Dude, cardamom is so underrated.
It really is.
It very is, yeah.
Very much agree.
I mean, it's an expensive ingredient, but it tastes so good.
Yeah.
Well, what would you rank it as? Since you hate it, what would you
As
rank
a
it?
drinker, thinker, stinker?
Yeah.
It is a drinker.
Okay.
No,
that's
100% drinker. Yeah, 100% drinker.
No, Troy's in my opinion, Troy's opinion was definitely, or Troy's opinion, it doesn't matter. Troy's drink, I thought was definitely better tonight. He very much impressed me because he usually gets his ass kicked by me.
No, both drinkers. I love that you were adventurous and went for the milk punch idea. Like I said, I'm a coffee guy. I loved it. It was really, really good. It was definitely a drinker. If I was at your Thanksgiving party and you had this on tap or like in a punch bowl, like just pouring over ice, I'd be hitting this.
Well, you're welcome to come if you guys don't have anything to do. It is a
Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
That already happened.
Yeah, that already happened.
In this timeline, we already
Merry
had it.
Christmas, everybody. Anyway, Troy,
Yes, sir.
what do you think?
About the drink?
Yeah.
Dude, I thought it was extraordinary. It's a drinker, hands down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Matt?
all day.
It's a drink that drinks. It's a drinker.
Excellent.
I was literally the first one to finish.
Yeah.
That's not true. I was. And I'm probably going to have more.
All right.
Anyway.
Dude, I would have more.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Raj, thank you very much for joining us, man.
Wait, before we go,
Oh, Matt has something really cool he wants to talk to you about.
we just want to give something away at some point soon.
With the holiday season here.
The holiday season.
It is the reason to give
I love
something
the
the
away.
dickory dock. Anyway,
It's one of my
Matt has too much whiskey, guys, and
True. Drink my whiskey, please, because
and-
I can't.
And Advent calendars are all over the place. I think they're a thing of Christianity. Matt's a Jew, but he has to
Are we
get
allowed
rid of
to
his
say
whiskey.
that on this podcast?
Yes,
because
we
I
are.
wanted to say it like half an hour ago, but I didn't think I could say it out loud.
Matt has too much whiskey and he needs to get rid of some of it. So we decided to do this seasonal thing. Actually, we're going to do it, I think, every quarter. We've been talking about doing it.
Yeah. I think that I would like to make it a quarterly thing where we do I guess we can't call it Advent calendar if it's not in Christmas time. So 12 days of whiskey, whatever you want to call it. And so made a box that has some whiskey in it, and I think we're going to give one, maybe more away. Stay tuned to social media, and we'll see what it is. But literally, it is just Troy and I painstakingly sampled a bunch of whiskeys.
Show it to the camera.
It was a rough day.
It was a rough day. We drank a bunch of whiskeys. I don't know if you can see the color coordinations we did. You probably can't see this. I don't know, Shelby, if you can zoom in. I don't know how that works.
Troy said on that day he spit for the first time in his life.
Yeah.
Usually swallows.
Yeah. So we have color coded 12 days of whiskey with you can rate it stinker, drinker, thinker, and all the samples and everything. There's cards so you can do blind tasting and see what you think. So
That is a super dope idea.
It is, man. It's awesome. And it's all good stuff, too. I don't know if you guys have known Matt's collection at all like we do. Obviously, you don't, but, I mean, he brings a bunch of bottles on here. There's not many stinkers there, and some of that stuff is probably either highly allocated or stuff you haven't had before that's probably pretty fucking tasty.
yeah, I try to make it as approachable. It's world whiskey, so it's not just bourbon.
Yep.
So we did Scotch, we did Irish whiskey, we did Japanese. We did kind of the whole gamut, so you can try everything. If you haven't tried certain things, it'll be in there most likely. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're not following along, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that giveaway first, but every single month in December, we're giving away some sort of alcohol. We're gonna start the first week in December with the 12-day whiskey calendar. That way we can get it to you by halfway through the month. That way you can have your final pour on Christmas. And follow along with us on Instagram. I'll be opening it up with you and drinking all Matt's liquor myself.
Anthony made me give him one so we can.
It didn't. It was his
For
idea.
social
We thought it was good for
media.
social media. But week 2, we're going to be giving away a bottle of McKenna. Week 3, we have a Courage and Conviction set from Virginia Distilling Co. That we'll be giving away. And Christmas week, I think we're going to be doing a really big giveaway where Matt's giving away like 16 different bottles of Weller.
Yeah, I have 100
We're
bottles.
giving away Pappy Van
100
Winkle
bottles
podcast.
It's Pappy Van Winkle vodka. You probably never heard of it.
Yeah,
I made it myself.
It's called the Pappy Wink.
Uncle Pappy Van
Wiener.
Winkle.
Yeah.
Uncle Pappy
Yeah.
Van Winkle.
But yes,
Uncle Cracker, Pappy Van Winkle.
Hey, I love
Can I make it
Uncle
old-fashioned
Cracker,
with that,
okay? I
Pappy?
love
oh
Uncle
God,
Cracker.
we're not doing that anymore. The Pappy old fashioned. I would shoot myself in the dick.
I asked for Pappy Van Winkle when I sat down today, and you guys say he doesn't have any, but I thought it was bullshit.
We
but
got poor man's
But I think you.
Maybe I am poor man's Pappy. I love me some decanted 6-month-old
The best.
Old Fitzgerald
Oh,
mixed
dude,
with
the
some
best.
Weller 12-year. Or 107. It's fine. Anyway, sorry, I'm just bullshitting right now.
I love it.
Because it's.
You can do whatever you want.
Sounds
It
like you
doesn't
liked our
matter.
drinks. Yeah.
He liked them.
I love the crackers more than anything else.
Hey,
Kyle
Kyle,
from Yeasty Boy
Courtney.
Cracker
Yeasty Boy
Company.
Cracker
and-
Company.
I'm sorry, Yeasty Boy Bread.
Yeasty Bear.
Amazing bread.
Let's just be a
amazing
cracker company at
crackers.
this point.
Yeah.
It's pronounced quacka.
Quacko.
Thanks you
Quacko.
guys again. We appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, drop a comment. Make sure you're checking out Drink Masters on Netflix.
Yes, please.
And that we really appreciate Raj being here for this. And then follow along on social media. We're gonna be giving a whole ton of shit away. That's better than any fucking Black Friday sale you can get on pencils at Walmart. That being said, group yodel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Raj,
for real
you
this
got
time.
to start it off though, Raj.
There's
We're
no
doing-
starting off.
We're not gonna
We
trick
all-
you this time.
We all do it on.
Let's just do a whole all together.
Yeah.
You
This
start
time,
it.
for
No,
real.
you
All
start it
I'll
off.
start it. Wait, we're doing a round robin? Or
Yeah, round robin.
All right, fine. Round robin.
This is a staggered yodel, is what we're saying, right?
yeah, so I'll start.
Canon, like
it'll go
starts-
around the
You're
round.
the last one. We can't stop until
Clockwise.
you
Yeah,
stop.
we won't
All right.
stop until you stop. 3, 2, 1. Yodelay.
Yodelay.